Hi, I'm Harriet Tinka, and here are this week's top stories that we have for you. Edmonton Police Service enhances and expands the bias awareness training to every officer. Calgary is providing up to 400 small businesses with free online stores. Coronavirus Project Cool Times and Diversity TV brings to you a COVID-19 vaccine panel to share some experiences and direction coming up after the newscast. And now, the news in detail. Why is the City of Edmonton garbage collection fee 2 times higher than that of Calgary? Calgary's waste collection fee is 50% less than that of Edmonton, a huge difference that has raised some eyebrows in Edmonton. On a Facebook chat response, the city said it's difficult to compare costs across municipalities as strategic goals, programs and services, cost and funding mechanisms all vary. They explained that Edmonton's waste fees appear higher than Calgary's because Calgary's waste and recycling services receives a subsidy of approximately $20 million a year. By comparison, property taxes are not used to fund any waste programs in Edmonton. Edmonton's waste programs and services have been funded solely by a user fee from the waste utility rate since 2009. Police Service steps up bias awareness training in its entire body of staff. Bias awareness training has been incorporated in Edmonton Police Service, EPS, training for some time now. But EPS is taking it to a new level by building on stakeholder engagement initiatives, drawing from the commitment to action sessions, roadmap, systemic review of issues facing Indigenous people, and the LGBTQ2S+ apology community policing modules. The community policing modules that are currently being offered to recruit training unit will be expanded to the rest of the service. The curriculum includes education on trauma-informed policing and the victim-offender overlap through discussing case studies of Indigenous, LGBTQ2S+, newcomer trauma, adverse childhood experiences, and cultural safety. Inspector Mitchell Fleming of the EPS Equity, Inclusion and Human Rights Branch joins Diversity TV to share more.
As a service, we've been doing bias awareness training with our recruit classes for, I think, since about 2012. And what we've just now instituted this past week, which we started with the Police Commission, was bias awareness training and managing unconscious bias to all membership, so all employees within the EPS. So it's now become mandatory for every member of the EPS to take part in an online or like an e-learning module that's about 20 to 30 minutes to complete. So that's what's new. Now, this is kind of the first step of a number of programs that are going to start taking place. We have a number of initiatives that we're doing right now. So we don't pretend to think that one 20 to 30 minute session that members watch online will solve all types of problems. So it's just the first step of a number of things that we're going to be doing out of the Equity and Inclusion branch at the Edmonton Police Service.
Fashion of the Week. This week, Fashion of the Week takes us to B&P Boutique in the Northland Village Mall in Calgary. Need a classic and elegant outfit for your next occasion? This two-piece outfit of long mermaid, fishtail with matching prop top, fully beaded with rhinestone, will be perfect for that occasion. Available from large to 2XL in different colors. For more information, please visit www.bellaandposh.com. Diversity Profile of the Week. This week, we are proud to highlight Crazy Jerk, a Jamaican restaurant on 1715 52th Street, Southeast Calgary. Since 2013, Crazy Jerk has been serving delicious jerk chicken, oxtail, and many other wonderful stuff made from scratch at the restaurant. Hear from owners in their own words.
Hello, everybody. My name is Prince Gray, and this is Rita Gordon. We're the owners of Crazy Jerk. Crazy Jerk is known for many, many Jamaican dishes, and we have many things that you might like to come and try. These things include jerk chicken, oxtail, Christmas sorrel, rum cake, and Irish moss. We also have many other special items that you can come here and try, but those are for me to know and you to find out. We are also located on 1715 52nd Street Southeast in Calgary, Alberta. You can find us on DoorDash and Skip the Dish as well. Please come and join us, for we are ready to serve you and your taste buds.
Coronavirus Project Cool Times. Alberta Health has reported scams where victims are asked to provide personal information, send money, or buy gift cards to secure a COVID-19 vaccine early. If you've received such a call, contact Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre or your local police. The COVID-19 pandemic has created a tough climate for businesses to survive. Diversity TV spoke to two business owners in Edmonton about their COVID-19 experiences and how they're coping.
Scary right now, COVID.
Okay.
And when they come here, it's not allowed to stay more than 10 people here.
Yeah.
So some customers, they don't have a car. So when I tell them to stay outside, they have to leave to go home. Big problem.
As a small restaurant, we face a lot of challenging issues, financial issues, specifically because with these new mandates, we have, just a reduction of our revenue because, we can't really seat anyone in our restaurants anymore for about the past 5 weeks, coming up to 6 weeks. And, as a restaurant, you can really see how not having people sit at your restaurant can really affect your revenue. So, we had to cut hours through other staff members, and we sort of had to cut a few things from a few different areas just so that we can stay afloat. If you guys can, just check us out. We are located on 10728 107 Avenue. This is just a Somali restaurant, East African restaurant. You can get your rice, you can get your meats, and just a nice, friendly family environment. So if you guys can come check us out if you're in the area, that'd be really great and help us out.
In Diversity TV International News, in football, the African National Championship, currently being hosted by Cameroon, advances to a quarter-final stage with Mali taking on Congo and DR Congo play against host Cameroon. Dish of the Week. Our dish of the week blends Chinese noodles and sweet chili chicken by Selassie's Grill in Edmonton. Let's take you into the kitchen of Selassie's Grill to cook with the chef.
So this is a Chinese noodles, stir-fried noodles. That is a sweet chili chicken with fried noodles.
Alberta NDP caucus shares their vision for the racism-free education system in Alberta. One of their goals of the education system that was proposed at the January 16, 2021 Zoom session is to end racist policies, ideas, and system with accountability from the highest level. The Alberta NDP team is proposing mandatory intercultural and anti-racism education for government members and staff, department staff, governing bodies of post-secondaries and school boards, instructors and staff in the post-secondaries, schools and school boards. They also propose legislated anti-racism expectations, accountability and enforcement measures and rights, an advisory board to oversee the above, provide guidance, recommendation, and support culturally and linguistically diverse population and Indigenous peoples in defending their rights. The official Alberta NDP opposition is also proposing the systematic lack of representatives of the Indigenous and ethnic communities in Alberta's school system with dire need for training, hiring, and recruiting practices that lead to an education system that is representative of the population that it serves. We invited MLA Jasvia Dior, NDP critic for multiculturalism, to tell us more about these proposals.
We wanted to take abuse from the people. So how do they think about it? We also wanted to know if they feel there would be something different that need to be discussed and added onto this kind of discussion. And we also wanted to know the strength, the individuals who were participating, the groups who were around us and participating in those discussion forums, that how these ideas will communicate and how that ideas will be supported in the communities by the individuals. So those were the discussions, that was the patterns of the discussions. And we have lots of feedback. So we are still working on, we still have more actually town halls to come. As I said, there was a number of occasions. I don't want to go in detail and use this interview for our own personal grandstanding. The motions to combat racism and help the Anti-Racism Advisory Council, be operational and be effective. That was debated in the House. The motions were put forward and defeated by the UCP government. And that's from where we thought we're going to go to the public, we're going to go to the Albertans, and we decided we will take a broad approach that is somewhere lacking in this province. And based on all those feedback that we get in the areas around education, healthcare, public safety, and the people of color or Indigenous people's participation in economy, democratic process, all those areas. So this was a part of that series, and the discussions are still going. Our next town hall is in February 6th, and we are still encouraging people, requesting people to join, as many as people can join. They can go on albertasfuture.ca and register for these programs. And end of the series that we have put forward, our stops compile the information, to build a proposal, so that we can come with comprehensive policy framework to promote multiculturalism, to build the equal and just society for all.
Announcements. Are you an internationally educated professional? The Global Talent Conference in Edmonton is looking to connect and inspire. This year, the Edmonton Region Immigrant Employment Council, ERIC, will co-host the first Alberta Global Talent Conference with their counterpart in Calgary, the Calgary Region Immigrant Employment Council, CREAC. This event will be virtual. This year's theme is Redefining Mentoring and Networking, to take place on Thursday, February 25th, 2021 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. To register, please go to their website.
Hi there, my name is Andy Malinsky. I look forward to a great Alberta Global Talent Conference on February 25th. Join me to hear about global dexterity, followed by a mentorship panel discussion.
Businesses within Edmonton's business improvement areas, BIS, may be eligible for a rebate of up to 3 months of their 2020 BIA tax. If they were closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic in the form of a credit to their business tax account. The rebate is part of the Edmonton Economic Recovery Grant, as the city makes an effort to help businesses hurt by the pandemic. To be eligible, a business needed to have been closed for a minimum of 2 weeks in 2020 because of the pandemic and earned zero revenue while closed. The rebate is only applicable to the BIA tax and not to any other type of federal or provincial tax. The application deadline is February 28. To apply, go to www.edmonton.ca. The City of Calgary is providing up to 400 more small businesses and artists with free online stores between February 1st and March 31st. This is part of Shop Here, powered by Google. Shop Here's goal is to get 50,000 deserving companies Canada-wide online so they can reach a wider audience for their products and bring in new revenue. They hire university students to build their websites for registered small businesses, including home-based companies, artists, service providers like hair salons and auto shops, and more. For more information, go to the City of Calgary website.
We need to support our local businesses in every form we have. So if it's providing another opportunity to shop here or reducing our fees when it comes to applying for a business, we have to look at different ways of trying things. For a business owner right now that's going through everything that's happening with the pandemic and the changing economy is don't give up. You've been an entrepreneur for this long, and there's a lot of resiliency behind entrepreneurs. Small businesses are really the driving force behind the local economy, and if you all band together, you'll get through this. And we will continue to support the business community no matter what.
MP Ziad Abtaev has been nominated to seek re-election in Edmonton Manning. We invited MP Abtaev to discuss what he accomplished during this term and what he hopes to focus on next term.
Of course, it's an honor to be nominated by the Conservative Party, the party that I been a member for a long, long time. It's another assurance of that to continue to do a good job and to continue to work for the people. That's why that is the assurance, that's the sort of the commitment of the party to continue requesting and emphasizing through this candidacy is to continue to serve and work hard for the people, because that's how we think and how we perceive politics in general. I was able to interact with the people for 4 months straight, doing door knocking, talking to people, understanding the issues. Now, I was, for that term, I was shadow minister for digital government. And that was a future, it's a future project, if you wish to say it, or to put it this way. I was able to understand the industry, meet with the industry, and see how we can see the future of Canada administratively, as far as the government, and of course, the digitizing the whole system, the private and the public, in order to be able to cope with the changes in the world and to be able to work with the speed of the technology that is really, Canada supposedly is one of the leaders in the world. So was a good role. I've enjoyed it, but was short because, again, we ran into the leadership election, and we ran to a new cabinet, and I was looking to introduce some meaningful policies that will be able to enhance our role and to enhance our digitization as government and as people. That was the what we were able to achieve. Otherwise, be honest with you, for the last year, we've been just serving the people, the constituents, answering to the concerns, responding to the difficulties that people go through, trying to help them out. People lost jobs, people facing mental health issues, facing difficulties at all level of health, their health at the risk. And the focus is on the people to make sure we get everything underway, we get the vaccination in place, we get the protection to the people, and we make sure that we get the economy back on track. Those challenges are at the core of every Canadian household, and that's what we're doing these days.
Thank you for watching Diversity TV Community Newscast from Harriet, Tinka. See you next week. Please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you are the first to get the news as it's uploaded. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and also on our website, diversityplus.ca.
Lema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami.
Diversity TV in the community. This week, the global cases of COVID-19 crossed 1/10 of a billion. Vaccines, the hope of a COVID-free world, have had varying levels of efficiency with challenging side effects in some cases. We invited some healthcare professionals to share their thoughts on the COVID-19 vaccine on Diversity TV COVID Vaccine Panel. Here are our panelists: nurse educator, health and wellness commentator, Lola Ogo Olo Ramfemi, Dr. Unati Makiwane, founder of United Medical Clinic in Calgary, Bemi Bello, a registered nurse in Calgary who has taken the vaccine. So welcome to Diversity TV panel for the week. So this week we're going to be talking about the most popular topic that's out there these days, the pandemic, COVID-19. Now, the subject really this week is to really understand the vaccine, because that's something that has been implemented, and vaccines have been already been given to different patients and in the community. So now I just would like for you to just share with the community exactly what to expect. Just give us some details on what to expect once with a vaccine that's coming up, because a lot of us don't really know the facts. So give us some facts.
As you know, it hit Italy hard because in the world, Italy has the highest number of old folks. They have the highest number of old people. So that's basically no-brainer. Mostly vulnerable people would be affected by any illness like this. We've seen it also in other parts of the world. Again, there was a commonality, mostly old people or people who had or who have other comorbidities, meaning other illnesses like diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus. Those people, they have compromised immune systems, so they are also at high risk of developing complications of COVID-19. So COVID-19 vaccine, generally when there's a virus like H1N1, or in the past you probably know about the COVID-19 actually is a coronavirus. Coronavirus has been around forever, but this strain, COVID-19, which now we have also different strains. There's a new strain in Brazil, there's a strain in US, UK, South Africa. So usually when a virus is mutating, meaning it's changing itself, is becoming different strains, typically it's becoming weak. That's typically what we see. And that's why each year we have a different different viral infection like flu, but then we still give the same flu vaccine. So I know that a lot of times people ask, so why would I get the same COVID-19 vaccine if there's different strains? It's still the same structure. It's just different strains, but it's still the same COVID-19. So you would still respond well to the COVID-19 vaccine. And according to the CDC, it's effective, like over 95% effective. So would you rather die from COVID-19, or would you rather take COVID-19 vaccination? Because each study for these three companies, they show that it's less than 1% complications. And there was one case of anaphylaxis, like a near-death situation in UK. I'll talk about that shortly. So who is to take COVID-19? Almost everyone, except for the children who are below 16, because there was no study done on them. And also there was no study done on pregnant women intentionally, but the animal test they did, there was no signs of infertility or any issue. And I know that people are saying this vaccine is going to change my DNA. A big no. It's an it's a messenger RNA. It's not even going to touch your DNA. So basically, when you get a vaccine, it mimics COVID-19 in your body, so that you can actually respond to it and produce antibodies, so that when you have an infection, those antibodies will fight the infection so that you don't die from it. That's the whole point. So people are asking, so how long does it last? As you all know, this hit us all by surprise. Studies show that we have to repeat it again after 21 days. And they're saying maybe it lasts 12 weeks, right? So if it's winter time, we all know in winter people get infections generally. There's viruses out there, there's colds and all that stuff. So this is the best time. If you have an opportunity to get this vaccine, get it. More especially if you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you have other illnesses. And make sure that if you're going to go get it, if you're asthmatic, make sure that your asthma is well controlled. Because the danger of not taking vaccination with a chronic illness like these conditions I mentioned could unfortunately land you in ICU. Like I said, this vaccine is quite virulent. It's attacking mostly people who already have other diseases. So as we all know, young people, they've had either no symptoms or mild symptoms, but the problem is they bring it home to their nanas, to their grandparents. So that's why even when we have the vaccination, we still need to make sure that we wear our masks, because you never know who has it and then it spreads. The whole point now Dr. Fauci is working on is to do herd immunity, meaning let's get as many people, like at least in the US, they are targeting 75% of their population to receive it so that we get this herd immunity. And we are hoping as this virus continues to mutate, hopefully it's not going to be, these mutated variants will not this vaccine, or as the initial illness. We are hoping that it's not going to be too bad. Of course, so far, people who died, looking at the stats, even on the second wave, it's people who were compromised already, the illnesses I mentioned. So who is to avoid vaccination? If you had an anaphylaxis to venom, like spiders, bees, like all those insects, bugs, whatever, avoid it by all means, because you might have the same. If you have allergies to eggs, go ahead and get it. COVID-19 vaccine doesn't have any egg component. So go ahead and get it. If you're asthmatic, go ahead and get it. There is no contraindication to those who have these conditions I've mentioned, other than the venom, or you had in the past, you had an unexplained allergy to something to a point of getting anaphylaxis. So basically, generally, the message out there, COVID-19 vaccination is safe, but you just have to be careful if you carry EpiPen for the obvious reasons I've mentioned. But I would be careful if you have severe anaphylaxis to nuts. You use your common sense. If you have severe allergies to nuts or to insects, I would be careful. I would avoid it and just stay healthy. How do we do that? Eating healthy, exercise, pumping that zinc. They are telling us to take vitamin D, take it, and vitamin C, stay hydrated, do your masks, hand sanitize, hand wash, and avoid crowds.
I know that some of the groups that have been identified who will be receiving the vaccine, basically are long-term care workers, essential givers, the long-term residents, those who are over 80, and indigenous communities. So those are the key 4 groups that have been identified. Now, do you have any idea when it will be available to everybody else other than the 4 groups that have been identified?
Yesterday, Trudeau went on and said they're looking at August, which makes sense because they have to continue targeting these high risk groups. So us, meanwhile, for now, honestly, the masks, they will be around for some time. So we need to continue doing that and listening to the news and the recommendations by the governments on the numbers that we can get together. Even at my clinic, we don't allow any more than 4 people at a time. There's 2 waiting and 2 inside the rooms. So each clinic is different, but if you don't have to come, as you know, now we even started talking to our patients over the phone, but don't be fearful of going to the hospital because of COVID-19. They are trying by all means, they are cleaning, their janitors are doing their best to make sure that surfaces are clean. So we don't want to miss other illnesses appendicitis, heart attack, chest pains, abdominal pains, we still need to look after those people that have those. Don't be scared and stay home because you have that, because you're scared of COVID-19, because you could die from an appendicitis attack. So we still need to use our common sense and do what we need to do. Just do your precautions. Hospitals, they're doing their best to make sure that people don't catch this. And like I said, we're looking at August for general population. We're hoping in the next 8-7 months, things will be better. We are hoping at least those vulnerable groups, like people who work in ICU, in heart clinics, making sure that also the indigenous people, because they live in bigger crowds, and also we tend to also have TB. We still have TB in Canada, more especially in the up north provinces where people are living in poverty and also obviously in big numbers. And also these nursing homes, long-term care, and their staff.
I know with the vaccine, some people have already have gotten it, and I know Gimme is one of the ones that have been quite fortunate in getting it. So, Gimme, do you want to also share with all of us your experience with the vaccine? Did you just get the first one? Or have you gotten both? Please share and just let us know how your experience has been.
I already got both. So I got my first dose in December, and actually was on December 18th. And I got the second dose on January 8th, so which was exactly 3 weeks after I got the first one. So my experience with the first one, there was no problem in getting in the way it was done, because I was fortunate to be part of the early phase, because I work in NICU at the Children's Hospital here in Calgary, so neonatal ICU. So we were just called randomly, and they would just ask us what day of the week we're able to come according to our schedule. So we got there I was scheduled for, I think it was 9 o'clock in the morning. It was in the south, and I got the vaccine. Before it was being given, they will explain everything to you. They will show you the vaccine itself, just to be sure, just to show you that they're giving you the right one. They ask you a series of questions if you're allergic to anything. Are you pregnant? Because pregnant people and breastfeeding mothers are not given right now. So they ask you all those questions, and if you answered no allergy or any anaphylactic reaction in the past. So, and after being given, you'll be asked to wait for 15 minutes just to see if there's any immediate reaction before you leave the place. So we waited for 15 minutes, and nothing happened. They just let it just go. There's a form they give you just to show you you've got the first dose, and then right there you get appointment for the next dose, which is within 21 to 28 days. So you just have to tell them according to your schedule. So, and the only reaction, I wouldn't say it's actually a reaction. I just got a mild soreness in my arm, at the site of injection, which is normal thing. You get even if you get intramuscular injection in your buttocks, you still have the reaction. You have a little bit of pain there. That's the only thing I felt, and I was okay. And the next day, I was due to go to work, and I went to work. No reaction, nothing except for that. And the soreness at the arm only lasted for 24 hours, or even less than that. After a while, I just didn't feel it anymore. And for the second dose, I got that January 8th, and just the same process, because we got there around 9 a.m. and we were asked the same questions again, and show us the vaccine, the ampoule, and then we are given, and we're asked to wait 15 minutes just to see for any immediate reaction. And I might just say the second dose, not that I reacted in a big way, but I feel kind of more tired a little bit than the first one. The mild soreness at the site of injection was there as well, and a little bit kind of tiredness, a little bit feverish and chills. But this is not a big reaction, because I still kind of got home. Yeah, I got home and I was able to do my normal stuff, and the next day I was back to work, and this only lasted for less than 48 hours. I would say within over one day. Like I worked 12-hour shift and I didn't have to like leave my work and say I'm going home on a sick leave or anything. And so and since then nothing, no reaction, nothing. And I've been trying to encourage people as well to like there's no way you can take any vaccine that you won't have like mild reaction to it, and it depends on individuals. Like I would say like 80 to 90% of my co-workers, we already got this vaccine, at least the first dose, and just the same reaction I had is what they had. Some of them even have to go in between, like on day shift, they just have to go in between like around noon, and they get the vaccine and they get back to work and nothing happens. Even for my second vaccine that I said I have like mild feverish, mild fever, tiredness, some of us don't even have any. They were like, oh, how did you guys like feel that way? Like I felt nothing. So I think it depends on individual and whatever underlying condition the person might have had in the past. So I think, that's just my experience with the tooth vaccine. I'm happy. I was fortunate to be part of the early phase. I'm really happy about that, and I'm able to kind of talk to people about this a lot.
So you've had it almost 20 days ago, and you still feel fine, and you're feeling great. There's no side effects for you. It sounds like it's business as usual for you. Now, which is good news, because a lot of us who are having, we're kind of deciding, should we or should we not, that dilemma. What you've said today really gives us a peace of mind, which is exactly what we want everybody to be informed, whether they decide to have the vaccine or not. Really, they should have the facts instead of going with what the myths in the communities are. Now, I know Lola just joined us, which is wonderful. Lola, did you want to really unpack some things about COVID-19 vaccine, something you want to share with us?
Jamie and Dr. Unari has covered it all. It's very good that we are aware of the situation the world is thrown into, and we are trying to make an informed decision how we can keep COVID-19 under control. So it's very important that we keep our minds informed and stay out of crowded areas and wear our masks. And also, if you have all the illnesses that are not COVID related, you want to make sure that is taken care of. So don't be scared to go to, book an appointment at your doctor's office if you have to do your yearly checkup, or if you have to go to the ER. Don't be afraid to do that. And this actually is an eye-opener. I tell my students at the university and my children as well, this is an eye-opener for all of us to know more about ourselves, to know more about our medical history, to know more about our bodies, how we react to things, and how we take care of our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health, that it is so important that is not put under the burner, the back burner. People need to realize that COVID-19 it can kill. So I think the more we put that out there, the more we know and tell people, keep them informed about how we're putting this under control, the better it is. So the more we make sure that the vaccines are getting rolled out, people are getting less anxious about how to control this, that we are all in the same boat, the better for us, so people can make an informed decision. I think they've said it all, and I'm so happy that Gwemi is able to share that she has taken both dosages, and that's really good and encouraging, and to share, so people can actually have less anxiety about the vaccine itself.
Yes, it's exactly. We need to hear that. Now, this question is basically to any one of you can answer it. With the shortages of the vaccine, as we have seen, I know Canada is supposed to receive another dosage, but I was wondering if you get your dosage, let's say you get it now, dosage number 1, and then another one doesn't arrive because you're supposed to get it within 21 days. Does that mean there's a reset? Does that mean you have to get the dosage 1 all over again? what is the impact of that? Because we've been hearing a lot in the news that there's shortage of getting the vaccines. What can we expect when that happens?
I think because so far we are targeting the high risk, and I think they have done their calculation in terms of making sure those people have both doses. And good news today, actually, they just started doing the trial. The Canadian-made vaccine today, they just started doing the trials on humans. Of course, it's going to take its time. So I'm not necessarily worried about the numbers of vaccines that we're going to receive in Canada, considering that so far we have decided to just do the high risk. I'm not sure if the other ladies want to contribute to that. I think so far the numbers that are getting will definitely get the second doses.
I think as far as I know, I didn't know about shortages, but I was talking to a colleague yesterday on my way home.
Right.
And he was telling me his wife is not getting the next dose until he told me the date. I was like, oh, that's far. So he now said it's now 42, I think 40 or 42 days now. So they're kind of extending it now instead of within 21 to 28 days.
Yeah. So most likely you still have antibodies from the first one. We're assuming.
Yes, and I would like to add. I think it's. I agree. I really agree with what you've said, Dr. Inadi. I think the goal of this vaccine is to build the serum level of the antibodies in the blood, almost like the. Right. Yeah. So that's the science behind it. So they are gradually building that immunity in your system to a serum level so that you'll be able to fight this naturally. So I don't think the immunity will not be there after 42 days, because that's the goal, that it should still build it gradually, and it should still be there, whether it's 21 days or 42 days.
I agree with you.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with you. I just wanted us to also not forget the youth in terms of checking on them, how they're doing, exploring their fears, because it has caused a lot of anxiety.
Oh, yes, I agree.
I remember 2 days ago, I had a bout of, I had a vomiting. I don't know what happened. My son already looked at the symptoms of COVID, so I had to sit him down, and obviously it's not something I hate. So we need to continuously reassure our kids, because this is scary. There's so much anxiety in the world. And also checking in, our men, their mental health is quite challenged right now. In my clinic, I'm starting to see more of my male patients coming in because they are drinking a lot more. People lost jobs. So we need reassurance, and also doing that awareness that mental health support is free in Canada. There's so many outlets. There's distress center, there's even you're talking to your doctor, referred to, we have lots and lots of resources. And also people could also check our Better Health Service website if they are stuck, but for sure talk to your doctors, but more so the vulnerable group, the men and kids.
You've shared a lot of really good information. Now, listening to all of you, I feel safe going to get my vaccine. With all the knowledge that you've shared, at least we have the facts, which is exactly what the community needs before we make any sort of decision. We really should have the facts, and you've really shared that with us. So I want to thank all three of you for sharing the information, and I'm hoping that we'll have this conversation again, because it's information that needs to be updated as we go. So thank you so much for joining us on this panel, and also for your patience, because that's very important in this pandemic. Being patient is also key. So you show that patience as well. So we'll continue to follow the protocol that the government is offering. And once again, thank you so much. We'll see you again.